Here I am at the Frankston YCW Football Club with my great mate Andrew Brady.
Lakers.
Great to see you, Brades. And this is one club that you didn't play at, mate.
Yeah, no, YC. It wasn't good enough to get a game here. They had Long and Tyabb and Lane and all those guys back in the day.
Especially those small brigade, they were fantastic, weren't they?
Yeah, they were great.
I actually spoke to Joey Lane the other day, and because we're down here at YC, I thought it would be a good opportunity to get him. But it's great to catch up with you, Brades, because last week you weren't available. But hey, mate, you started in 81 as a young 17-year-old at the Mornington Footy Club.
Yeah, under
81. Like, who was that under?
Max Quanchy and Bob Adams, co-coaching. And Max Quanchy, I remember his drop kicks. He used to just cut the top off the grass. He did when he kicked his drop kicks from the goal square into the centre.
So they were doing drop kicks back then?
Yeah, they were. Actually, I'm coaching Tyabb under 19s now, and I put a photo of myself on Messenger, and the guys all got back to me about didn't they have colour photos when you played, and that was right. So that's how long ago it was now.
So as a 17-year-old, Brades, you obviously, how many games did you play that year?
I played every game.
Every game,
yeah.
And you won the senior best and fairest in your first year of senior football.
Yeah, that was right.
Isn't that a great achievement?
Well, we didn't have much of a team.
Didn't you?
But, we had Gary Guy was a good player. He got back from Melbourne, so we did have.
Is he the fella that? No, that was Eric Guy that played at Carron.
I think it's Eric's son, if that's
right.
I think, and there was Les Guy was a brother.
Yeah.
So look, we were reasonable enough, and we won a few games, but I think the year before they were a lot stronger.
Yeah. So after Mornington in 81, 82, you went down and did a pre-season at the Dolphins?
I played at the Dolphins. I played...
Who was the coach down there then? Was that
Mike Patterson.
Mike Patterson.
And he had
Was Dave Martin down there then?
Dave Martin was there.
Yeah. And he went on and played at...
Scotty Rogers was there, you would know.
Oh, yeah, Scotty, yeah.
But yeah, I remember Mike had a great saying about the breakfast plate was the definition of commitment, that there were the bacon and the eggs, and the chicken only gave a part of itself, and the pig gave all of itself. And I've tried to use that line in my coaching over the journey, and my players just look at me like I'm a dill.
Well, and what are you talking about?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
The chicken and the pig.
How many years did you spend down at the Dolphins?
I just spent the 1 year. I played, I think it was 6 games in the seconds and 4 in the first, but I badly injured my knee at Werribee in my first senior game.
Out there at the...
And ended up having what was called back then a patella stabilisation. So it was quite a big operation at the time. So so things.
But you won the best and fairest there, did you? In twos?
No, in the twos.
Yeah. That's twos, good though.
Yeah, no, it was good.
And the friendship, like when I played down at Frankston, the mateship I made there were everlasting sort of friends.
Well, I remember because I struggled with the girls' blackers, and Mrs. Mace used to.
Margaret.
Yeah, used to help me out with. She was a school teacher, and
at Frankston High there.
She'd organised for me to take a girl to all the functions. So it was good fun back in the day. And
one of her students, was it?
I probably shouldn't be talking about it. It's probably not appropriate these days, but look, it was just more for the company. So it was good fun. And we had some real characters back then, Chuck Housen and... Arthur Bell and Wertho, those sort of guys. So
Chuck was a good footballer, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. And I remember the following... we went to Geelong West. I had the room with him at Geelong West because we stayed over, and I'll never forget that night. That was
interesting.
He's a scary fella to share a room with.
Because he went on and played at the Pines Footy Club.
He did. Yep, that's right.
And he was a really good defender.
Yeah, look, he probably should have made it. I'm not sure whether... I think Mike Patterson ended up coaching Richmond again after that, and I had a feeling he might have got Chuck along there, but...
And Dave Martin, I think, went down there as a reserves player.
Yeah, he did, yep.
Yeah, he was a good player, Dave.
Yep.
So then did you leave the competition for a few years after the Dolphins, or did it take a little bit for your body to...
No, I had I did the pre-season after the Dolphins at St Kilda because I missed the middle part of the season with my knee, but... I got cut, and I think probably like a lot of kids these days after the Stingrays, you
get disheartened.
You get a little bit, and you play all your career that you want to play in the VFL as it was then,
and people take rejection differently, don't they?
Yeah, and I think I had to find I had to
Find
another
motivation?
reason to motivate myself to play well. And I came back, played one game at the Dolphins in the seniors, and then ended up back at Mornington. As you did back then, they gave you a job at the Darva Hotel to play footy there. But I probably struggled, and then ended up I joined the police force and went through the academy.
The academy, and so there was a different path in your.
There was, in your life. It did take me a while to, and I guess that's probably why I'm able to relate to kids that sort of come back from the Stingrays, how difficult it can be.
Yeah.
Reflecting back on my own experience.
And the thing now in today's society, Braids, is that a lot of kids can't take knockback and dejection, can they?
Yeah, you're right. We've got a boy just turned up at Tyabb last week, and
he wasn't there for the pizza night, obviously.
No, he almost made the final cut at Stingrays a couple of years ago, and then went and played gridiron for 2 years.
God.
So you do hear a lot of those sort of stories where guys just they just sort of drift away, and now he's back and he's keen and ready to go. So.
Yeah. So then after going back to Mornington, you left Mornington and you went to the South East Church Suburban League, did you? Or?
Was
that 87, 88? Did you coach up there? Did you?
No. I just went and played a year there. I had cousins who were involved in the team, and then. Just to actually just go and have some fun. Just go and have some fun, and then.
Did you end up coaching there though?
I did later on, but.
Was that 87, 88?
I think and in '86 I went back to Mornington and played under Gary Wilson, the ex-Fitzroy, who came back.
Is that how your friendship with him grew?
Yeah, we've
stayed in touch.
I'm very lucky that we've stayed friends, and but he was the first coach ever, Gary, at Mornington, who he banned shopping on a Friday night because he used to ring all the players of a Friday night, and all the wives, girlfriends, mums were all worded up to say that they were shopping, that they're actually at the Darva Hotel, and so he barred shopping on a Friday night. But
How many years did he coach there for?
He just coached one.
Did he?
And which was really...
He did play a couple of years there though, didn't he? Or just one year?
He never played. I think that was when he was appointed that they sort of hoped he would play. But no, that never eventuated. But I love playing under Gary. He's probably... just the professional attitude is probably where I wanted to be, you know, at some point in my footy career.
And especially being at the Dolphins and then coming back to local footy.
Yeah. So I had a good year there under Gary, so I really enjoyed that. And then I went off and... captain coached back at that Sandringham side when Gary
so
wasn't
what's
appointed.
that, the Southern League? Or
it was the South East Suburban Churches. But pretty well all those sides have wound up now, which is really sad because it was there were some great clubs back then.
Yeah, wonderful clubs.
Yep.
And you had a lot of success there. You won a couple of league medals.
Yep. And then we made the finals both years, and I really
how old would you have been when you first started coaching then?
Oh, that was. I'm thinking, what you are, 87, 23.
God, that's young, Braids. So
Well, it was young, but I always loved I always enjoyed the coaching and leading. It was good, and it was a great experience. And again, all footy, as you know, Blake, is some wonderful characters and some wonderful memories of the players that we played with back then, and the teams. I remember playing, I think it was Chadstone, and we go to the rooms and it's pitch black and they've smashed all the fluorescent glass out of the lights, so you just walk in black and there's glass all over the floor. There were things like that. Collingwood Districts had did you
have to go out there?
So we had to play them.
Bloody hell.
If you were up in the last quarter, they used to lock the gates and not let you out and start shaking your car. But the umpires used to...
Did your mum and dad used to travel to those games?
Yeah, look, I guess, my parents, but they've... and I've always played with my brothers as well, which has been a great thing. And,
so they played up there as well?
Yep. And so, mum and dad were always, always tagging along.
God.
Yeah.
Hey, then you left there.
Yeah, went to Rye.
You went to the Rye Footy Club.
Yeah.
You only won 2 best and fairest at Rye. Why was that?
Well, I only played there 2 years.
Oh, well, that's fair enough then. Well, that's a good effort.
Was it better in rehearsal? I love my time at Rye under Trevor Lloyd. And, he was a character.
So Trevor, he coached a premiership there. What year?
Before me. I think he'd just come back from...
Rosebud?
Winning premiership there. So, we had the Reg Chadwick and Alan Barnes and Scotty Beale. There was some look, again, some great people, and I love Rye Footy Club. Always loved going back there. Mick O'Rourke, Nick Appleford was just so,
he was a big,
huge
identity, wasn't he?
Yeah, and look, I always say they never forget. You go back there, that you're always welcome, and
well, that was a good era for Rye, wasn't it?
Well, we made the finals. I remember we were playing Mornington in a final at Chelsea, and Peter Lowe. They were 3 goals up with about 3 minutes to go, and Peter Lowe started doing handstands in the goal square for Mornington. He was captain coach of Mornington, and we had a fellow, Peter Martin, who came on off the bench and kicked 3 goals. Well, I think he kicked 2 of the last 3 goals in the last one, and we won the game. And I saw Peter not long ago. I said, mate, why'd you carry on? Why did you do all those handstands?
He thought it was all over.
No, he said he had a bet with a fella in the goal square, in the car behind the goals. So he was just,
well, he lost
letting him
that
know
bet.
He won the bet, and he ended up losing it, yeah.
Hey, Braids, after leaving Rye Footy Club, you ended up at a club that means a lot to you, and your friendship with Neil Hose grew from then? Is that when it sort of started, the relationship, or did you know Hosey before then?
No.
91, 92?
Yeah, went to Tyabb as captain coach, and Tyabb hadn't had a lot of success. They really struggled, and I had a lot of friends at Tyabb. A lot of the kids you played and grew up with were at Tyabb, and it had a real appeal to me to go and help out.
Because they got a few people from Mornington across at different times, didn't they?
We had we did. Yeah, we did definitely. We picked up.
What's the connection there?
I think probably like me, just had that. People that probably want to go out and help a battler. That you just sort of go, okay, well, look, it's just a short distance up the road. I'm not sure whether there was actually ever a set connection. Maybe it was, I don't really know why, but there have been a few. And look, Mornington players we often used to call it the Red Hill bus. Some would go up to Red Hill and some would go to Tyabb and sort of share themselves around. Over the journey, they've gone to Dramana. So
yeah, wonderful. I mean, the relationship that you've got out there, and I mean, we're moving forward a bit, but you've ended up back at Tyabb, helping out with their under-19s at the moment, Braids.
Yeah, well, I coached Neil's sons, Darren, Matt, Brett and Fraser, and now I'm back coaching Neil's grandson, Will, who's the son of Darren, and Will is just, he's going so well.
I met him the other week,
he's having a great year. So he was at Mount Martha Juniors, but and obviously Matt's still there, but the thing with, Neil, with me coaching Tyabb, he said, if I come back and coach the under-19s, he'll go team manager, so I said I'd give...
That was incentive in itself, wasn't it?
They didn't get a team last year, they sort of petered out after about the 3rd or 4th round.
So that's a massive challenge in itself, just to get a team back on the park. And I was lucky enough to come and take training with you the other day, and to have 23 blokes out there on a Tuesday night was wonderful, wasn't it?
Well, the guys are staying keen, and we've got boys from 8 different clubs, so it's taken a bit to get them together, but I'm wrapped with them. They're doing, it's at different times. It's hard to come up because you play the strong sides, the Red Hills, the Kringles, the Langies, and then you're interested to see how they react. But they've always got themselves up and dusted themselves off and rocked up at training during the week.
Just go back to when you went back to Tyabb, or you went there for the first time. You injured yourself. You hurt your knee, didn't you? Did that end your career?
It did. Yeah. Basically, some of the highlights of my career really have been at Tyabb. The first year I coached, we beat Hastings at Hastings, and I still remember Doug Dial singing the song, after the game. That just meant so much to so many people, because that was something they probably would never have envisaged would have happened.
Yep.
And in the second season I coached there, we won 5 of the last 6 games, including over Pearcedale and Kringle, both away, who both played finals that year. But I had a boy playing, Richard Stubbs, who won the league medal by 18 votes.
Yeah.
Well,
his dad Ron was an amazing footballer.
Yeah, well, I actually played against Ron. As well, and Ron was, he was a regular at the club back then too. So it was great sharing some stories with Ron too. So
after Tyabb, you went back to Mornington. And you coached the thirds,
I coached the reserves. And we lost the grand final to Seaford. And it was, at Frankston, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a great game too, that particular game.
And as a coach, to get to Car Street is the pinnacle, isn't it?
Well, I was also, and I was chairman of selectors of the first as well, and they made the finals, and Jack Holt was coach, and Simon Goosey had come back.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a great experience.
Oh, so Jack Holt was coaching, and then Goose took over from Jack, did he?
I think that's how it worked, yeah.
Or did he take over from Davey Dunbar?
No, Dave Dunbar was before Jack Holt.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Braid, so did you spend how many years there? A couple of years?
Oh, no, it was just for 1 year. 1 year.
Yeah.
So,
and then you did nothing for a couple of years? Or did you go straight up to Red Hill?
What years did I coach Red Hill? Can't remember. Have I got it written there? I haven't got my glasses on, Blackers.
Yeah, okay. 98, 99.
99, okay.
So 95 to 98.
Yeah.
What did you do in between there?
I probably didn't do too much. I probably might have umpired.
Did a bit of umpiring?
I umpired a lot.
Because you and your great mate Paddy Foy have umpired a lot of footy together, haven't you?
Yeah.
And not just reserves and 19s. You've done some junior games as well.
Yeah. Paddy didn't do the juniors, but we did a lot of reserves and 19s games
together.
Yeah, and it was fantastic.
Which is a wonderful friendship. And you still have a coffee now, don't you?
It's now every Sunday because we're both coaching under 19. Paddy's at Hastings. So,
that's great.
Yeah, once a week. Definitely.
So you both
have a coffee, but we loved the umpiring. We were old school umpires, definitely.
Yeah.
You had to earn a free kick, and look, it was fun. It really was, and I'd love to look. And umpiring something I think look if there's past players out there
who aren't doing anything because
it's
getting harder and harder.
Definitely,
because the poor young kids, like I go and watch my son play.
Yeah.
And the young kids who are umpiring are like 15, 16, and there's parents in that just abusing them.
Yeah.
It's they're on a hiding to nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, look, I think for someone who has played footy, umpiring is just a great way to stay in the game. And look, it is enjoyable because you see, and I think players can relate to it, like when they know that you've played the game too. There seems to be that bond that you have, and I think they work out pretty quickly that you've had some experience actually playing the game.
100%.
So look, I enjoy the umpiring, and so.
And then you went up and coached Red Hill. You had a good time up there, and a great friendship with Owen Shaw.
Yeah, well, same thing. Look, doesn't matter, as you know, Black, as any footy club you go to, they're great.
Yeah, they're great people.
So look, I enjoyed my time at. I've been up there.
And apart from Tyabb, you would say that Red Hill would be your second home, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. No, look. And I love working with you up there, Blackers.
Oh, we haven't got to that yet. Because at this stage you're coaching against me.
Yeah,
and you're beating. In '99 I was coaching Berwick, and we come up to Red Hill and we got touched up.
You did, yeah.
And then in 2004, we come up to Red Hill on the last game of the year, and we got touched up by a Braids.
Well, and the margin in that game gets bigger and bigger every year because I think it's blown out now to about 15 goals. But
it probably was Braids.
But we had if you read Jamie Rhodes, and he basically took Berwick on his own in that particular game. But
he was a good footballer, Jamie. And look, probably didn't get the best out of himself, did he? Well,
those 2 years we made the finals. We finished that game. We were second going into the last game. We beat the top side by, I say now 13 goals or whatever it was. Yeah. But Crib Point beat Dramana by 300 points and jumped us.
Oh, really?
In the last game. So we ended up playing Keysborough.
Oh, in
and
third, fourth.
You coached
top four at that stage,
it was four. So you end up, after playing at Red Hill all year, and the league back then used to like playing all the finals at Somerville.
Yeah,
and it was really hard for us. We struggled on the small grounds. So, Keysborough knocked us out both years I coached in the semi at Somerville.
Yeah,
so that was disappointing because I thought at both years we had the team that could have pinched it, Yeah.
And after your time as senior coach there, you've helped out at Red Hill not only did you help me out as my chairman of selectors, my reserves coach, and doing an opposition analysis as well. Braids really was fantastic for me. And that's one thing that I found working with, not as informally as I did at Red Hill, but along the way our friendship has grown from helping each other, or especially you helping me out with opposition analysis.
Yeah, when you're at the Bombers, there were a couple of tough games there, and we
there was
used to
one
have a
time.
chat.
Yeah.
I think I rang you once, said, mate, I'll catch up with you. I'm trying to think, was it Devon Meadows maybe?
I think I might have got touched up at Devon Meadows, and it was a long, lonely drive home. Yeah. I think we might have got beaten by 90 or 100 points out at Devon, and then the next week we're coming up against the flag favourites in Dramana.
Exactly.
And how were we going to turn that 100-point game around?
Yep.
Anyway, cut a long story short, it got down to the last kick of the day.
It did.
And Wakeling slotted one from the boundary line, and we got up and beat Dramana.
Yep. And I did. We had some good talks during the week leading into the Dramana game.
Yeah, and we had a good cuddle afterwards.
We did.
Yeah.
No.
So all of that, Braids, and the other thing that you did really well, Braids, is that behind all this, because you're a policeman, and you joined or you started up a coaching for the Western Warriors, or
the Western Port Warriors.
That's
formed. They were a footy side for the socially disadvantaged or the unemployed people in the Hastings, mainly the Hastings or Western Port area. And so there was a competition, RecLink, a midweek competition.
That was done on a Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, sorry. We played teams like Malmesbury Juvenile Justice Centre, who you always played. Yeah. You always played at Malmesbury because there'd be mass escapees if they played at Crib Point.
So when
we played Odyssey House and the.
So when you went into there, would everyone have to be checked in and then checked out
at Malmesbury?
Yeah.
Look at all I remember, there was this big puff of dust where the bus drove in, and they all ran out and they played, and then they'd get back in the bus, and there was a big puff of dust, and off they went back to Malmesbury. But so that was sort of what it was like.
So you did that for a number of years, didn't you?
8 years.
And Don Scott really embraced that.
Yeah, Don Scott. And I had Stan the Man Longanides was a patron, and was Gary Wilson was. And Don was very good as well. So Spider Everett also did a.
Because he was involved at Hastings at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I coached and coordinated. And Dwayne Barton, who umpires now, he was a big help, and he actually coached the side for 2 years. And in that 2 years, I was sort of helping him out a little bit. But we had a lot of we had a lot of wonderful support for those 8 years. And Blackers, 3 of the boys I coached in the Warriors ended up playing in Hastings Premiership team.
Did they really?
So that
who were they?
That was a great story. You're going to get me now, aren't you? Steve Robb was one. Then there was.
Isn't that good?
Jake Hewitt.
Yes.
And Aaron Vincent was the other one.
Wonderful. But those boys have obviously turned their lives around.
No. They were always solid citizens, but they had
couple of
they played on the Wednesday. No, they were all good fellas.
Oh, okay.
All good fellas, yep. And look.
So you didn't have to be naughty to play.
No. Although when getting sponsorship was easy though, because you go to a business and they say, I know if I sponsor the Warriors that my shop doesn't get broken into. So that was one thing. And then the police van would drive in when we had a home game, and you think, that's good. The boys are coming down to watch us, and then
they'll just make sure that.
No, they were whipping all the plates off the unregistered cars that were around the ground. Look, it was good, and they actually, So it was. Look, that was a great experience too, but look, it ran its race eventually, and it takes a lot of time and effort.
And effort, doesn't it?
That did,
and energy as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So Braids, after Red Hill, now you've ended up back at Tyabb, helping your great mate Neil Hose out.
Yeah, yep.
And just to get a side was a challenge in itself, wasn't it?
Yep.
But then, not only to get a side, you've been able to get a side, be competitive, and you've won a game of football. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we were. We were fortunate enough to play Devon, and Devon probably in a similar boat to us as well. They didn't field a side last year. No, that's right. So and look, we've had and look, it's really helped that the senior coaching staff are. They're so enthusiastic. It is a vibrant place to be at. And again, Blackers, I'm very lucky. I've got my brother Mark's, he's director of coaching, and Paul's, he's my forward line coach. So still got the support of the brothers, the family there, and which Barb is wonderful. Bob still come and watch. Yeah, and it is wonderful, Braids. And you've had a long association with the Mornington Peninsula Football League. And along the way, the friendships that you've made and the people that because everyone knows who Andrew Brady is. Love a chat. I think it's true. Look, I think you played at a few clubs, and but I think I guess the advantage for me now though, Blake, is I've got to meet so many people, and you can walk back
look, I know all that one club player, and look, I agree 100%. But
yeah, I think that's wonderful.
But I think I've got that, that I can walk into a club and, you look,
and associate with something.
Go back to Rye and you know people there, or Red Hill or Tyabb, or even in Mornington. But and look, I love community footy. I love local footy, and I'm enjoying
doing what you're doing,
putting back in. And you can't have Blackers. You can't have teams not having under-19 sides, and it is a worry, because I'm worried where it's going. But you rock up at a game and there's no under-19 game. It just doesn't have the same feel about it, does it?
And I've had this conversation with you before, Braids, is that some of the powerful clubs have 30-something players. There should be a cap at 28 or something like that. So then it forces kids to go off and venture, because in life there's always knockbacks, and you've got to learn to accept that early on in your life.
Yeah, one problem I see is at the moment the under-17 competition.
Like
there's 5 sides there, so in 2 years that's where I think there's going to be a bit of an impact.
Huge.
And because 5 doesn't go into 12 or how many, so
it doesn't.
But anyway, look, hopefully we find a way somewhere between.
Yeah, well, that's another topic in itself, isn't it?
It is.
But wonderful to catch up with you tonight, Braids.
No, it's always good.
Really
good
mate.
Love it.
To spend some time with you and let people know about the history, because as you get older, the new generation don't know what the past has done. So this is what this segment's all about, mate.
Yeah, no, it's great. Doing a great job. Well done.
Thanks, mate.